I'm Dr. Britty Sperry, and I need to tell you this story. I grew up in the Pentecostal church, and in the Pentecostal church, specifically the Church of God in Christ, dancing was considered a sin. Now, back then, all I knew of sin was something that was bad that you were not supposed to do. Since then, I went away to college and I started really reading and studying and looking and seeing differently. And sin became this thing about missing the mark of the calling of your life. It was anything that separates you from yourself, from your neighbor, from God. And dancing did not, it no longer fit that definition. So I went out dancing with some friends and I was sitting on the side and I was sitting and they were like, get up. And I was like, no, it's okay. And they're like, get up. So finally they kind of pulled me up. I remember them pulling me out of my seat and I was fighting it because I did not want to engage in this sin. I was fighting it. I was fighting it. I was fighting it. And I got up and it was literally the first time I danced. And the joy that filled my soul from dancing, it was like worship, where you embody worship, the kneeling, the standing, the lifting of hands, or praising God in a Pentecostal church. All of those things were what I felt from Pentecostal to Episcopalian. I felt all of that dancing. Well, anyway, I started dancing and I started going dancing some more. I started going dancing some more. And then after I finished graduate school, and in graduate school, Kent, Ohio, I loved dancing to island music. By then, my sister roommate Pat had introduced me to calypso and soca and salsa and reggae and all of the things. And so whenever a reggae band would come to town or a calypso band, anytime those bands would come to town, it was like, that's it. And I never sat down. I just danced. In fact, in undergrad, most of my friends, Black friends, were from the islands. And so it wasn't because those were the people I picked. It was because those were most of the Black people who were from the islands. And the joy from the music, the joy from the movement, the joy. Then when I graduated from graduate school and all of it, and I was living in Chicago, and there were these reggae clubs. I mean, I probably went 4 nights a week. I did not need a partner. I did not want a partner. I just wanted to dance. I danced the same way at home. I just danced. Well, last night we had a party honoring Deacon Patty. And I was kind of in charge of putting things together, but I had a team of people who I didn't have to do anything. They executed like nobody's business. And let me tell you something. Deacon Patty loves to dance. She loves to dance. She loves to dance to Motown. She loves to dance. Temptations, you listen. She loves to dance. The music started. I was on the dance floor because music. The next thing you know, everybody was up and everybody was dancing. And like we were winding down, but the DJ was like, ain't nobody trying to leave. So she kept playing and we kept dancing and we kept going. And the joy of being with joyful people who love God with their whole being, with their service. We were honoring somebody whose service, whose life is exemplary of what she believes. And it occurred to me that dancing comes from the joy of living a life that serves. I woke up this morning and it said, oh, you got to tell a story. And I thought, no, you don't have to tell a story. You're going to dance your way in the room and tell a story. Was I hurting? Was I moving like I used to move? No. People were like, girl, you can dance. I was like, you should have seen me back then. But I realized they didn't have to see me back then. They saw me back then when they saw the joy on me now. Let me tell you something. Today, put on some music. Just get up and dance. I don't care if you're dancing in a seat, dancing in your car. Just find something joyful and allow your body to embody the joy that is in your heart. And if you don't have any joy in your heart, put on some music until it strikes a chord. I love you.